Hi guys, how are y'all doing? Welcome back to my channel. Listen, I wanted to share something with you guys. I've been meaning to do it, and it's something very near and dear to me, and it's been something that I've lived. So when I'm speaking about it, I'm very passionate about it. And the more people I come across, they always say to me, why don't you do this? You should do this as a living. You should get into fitness. You should get into food and health. But you know, I'm not sure, but anyways, I was talking to a neighbor recently and she said that I should make a video on this and share it. And the topic is diabetes. Right? Now, a lot of people only take diabetes seriously when they lose a leg or they lose a couple toes, like my father. Or they literally are in and out of the hospital, and they start affecting their kidney and they start affecting their livers, and then they said, you know what, it's too late. Really, once it gets that chronic, it's too late. And for those of you who don't know, diabetes is a chronic condition, right? So if you go to the doctor and the doctor says to you, hey, you're predisposed to diabetes, what do? Right? Because a lot of us are under the impression that diabetes only affects people of a certain weight, that it only affects people of a certain age, and that is totally false. Diabetes can happen to anyone at any time when our bodies are the body's not breaking down the food, and the glucose in the food is making the blood sugar very high, and then your body don't produces enough insulin to take care of that. So now you need medication to handle it. But before you get there, there are always symptoms that tells you that something is going on in your body. And for the most part, we really don't listen to our bodies. So my experience with diabetes started at the age of 16 when I was in high school. And I took insulin 4 times a day, and I hated it because I'd have to, fill up the needle and shoot my arms, my thighs, my butt. And I totally hated it. I got diabetes, however, from a medication that I was taking. And even though the doctors reassured my mom and my stepfather at the time that once I stopped taking the medication, that the diabetes would go away, that did not happen. So initially, you have diabetes. Just because you get it from a medication doesn't mean it's not the same thing. They're just not like different types. So before you get to type 2 diabetes, which is the one that now you need medication, right? And you go to the doctor and he said, hey, you are predisposed to diabetes. What do? Well, the first thing you do is you change the way that you eat, right? Super important. Change the way that you eat. And people are so stubborn. I know they are, because I'm Jamaican and we're just stuck in our ways as Caribbean people. We want our provisions, we want our dumpling, we want our breadfruit, and we want all the stuff that we're not supposed to be eating, because we know that starch turns to sugar, right? And everything we eat have starch, fruits, everything. So you can eat whatever you want in excess and it's still gonna break down into starch. So if I've learned anything in my experience, I used to say, oh my gosh, I drink water, my sugar is high. I used to be like super high. So you change your lifestyle. You have to eat differently. And it's not that you have to now eat salads and you have to eat, boring foods. You have to learn about foods. And it's all about portions and how much of it are you eating. You can still eat meat. How much of it are you eating? You have to eat leaner meat, right? You have to remember that your body is not breaking down the food and storing the energy. The liver processes all this stuff, so you want to be gentle to your liver. You have to increase your activity. It's a no-go. If you're going to change the way you eat, you also have to change your activity. Watch for the people who are necessarily diabetic. They don't really move, and when you go for a walk, you have to actually walk where you are speeding up, where your heartbeat increased. If the heartbeat is not increasing, you are not burning any calories. So you have to walk, get your heart rate up. in order to make it work. You also have to drink more water. I'm sorry, but you have to drink more water. You have to help your body help you. You have to flush your kidneys. You have to, flush the liver. And the kidneys are important. You're peeing, and the pee's a different color. It's like the sunset. Guys, you have to drink more water. Okay, I'm not asking you to drink a gallon the way I do. 6 to 4 ounces a day. It's not a lot. It's four 16-ounce glasses. Okay. So change your diet, okay? And if you want to change your diet, even if you're not diabetic and you need help, reach out to me. I will be happy to walk you through what you should eat and shouldn't eat and teach you about food. I think it's important that we know what's going inside our bodies. Processed food and diabetes are not friends, right? I eat almost, because I still eat flour and I eat unbleached flour, but it still goes through, processing. But I try to eat things that are minimally processed. Like I don't grow my own wheat yet, so I'm still eating rice. But I try to eat stuff that's minimally processed, because what has happened with my body specifically is because I have been on, and I don't want to say strict because I do eat whatever I want, but because I've been more mindful of what I put in my body, I cannot digest processed food. I get sick, like I get ill. I start getting cold sweats and I'm throwing up. I can't eat processed food. So you won't catch me in McDonald's buying like a hamburger. You'll catch me buying some French fries maybe, but you won't catch me really eating anything else from there or anywhere else. So lifestyle changes include food, it includes water, it includes activities, and you have to exercise. Okay, you have to exercise, and I actually helped a friend reverse his predisposed diabetes diagnosis, and now he's like borderline type 2, because after he started doing everything that I said and we were working together and he was so happy, he went back to just like, you know what, it's my life, I'm just gonna lollygag, drinking and just not taking care. And once you have type 2 diabetes, it is not that you can't reverse it. It is just so much harder to do, because now subconsciously you already gave up. You really don't want to put in the work that it takes to reverse diabetes. And then now that you have diabetes, you have high blood pressure. But guys, do you know why? It's the food we eat. It's the food we eat. And I cannot say for sure that high blood pressure can be reversed 100%. You can control it. You can control it. Some lifestyle changes will control your high blood pressure. I don't know if it will totally be reversed. Like if you're a smoker, you should stop smoking. The coffee, they said it's not good for high blood pressure. And you have to increase your activities. Again, it's all about activity. I know that you figure that you're 60 or you're 40 or whatever and you don't have to exercise, but guys, we really do need to do that. And a lot of times, we love to say, my husband and I actually speak about it a lot, that diabetes, it runs in the family. My grandfather had it, and his father had it, and my grandmother had it. It's just been generations down the line, but it's not true, right? And I'm gonna play devil's advocate here for a minute. It's not true. It is not that it was generational. It's that the eating habits has not changed generationally in the family. So all of y'all have the same sickness. Y'all got diabetes, y'all got high blood pressure. It's the eating. Okay, it's not genetics, it's the eating. So generation after generation, y'all be eating the same exact foods. So now everyone coming down generation after generation after generation has diabetes. They have hypertension. It's not because your great grandfather had it and his father had it. It's because y'all be eating the same way, passed down. Where do we get our recipes from? And the way we cook and what we eat. was what we grew up eating. It's our lifestyle. So we don't change it. We add more stuff to it maybe, but all that stuff that we used to eat is so inherent in us that we don't change, and then change is hard. All right? I don't eat ice cream. I don't eat cake. I don't eat chocolate. I am not a sweet type of person. And when I do feel like having sweets, I either ask my husband to make me strawberry shortcake, because then I know how much sugar is going in it. And it's always a thing between us, because he makes it and I don't even eat a slice. I eat like 2 forkfuls and I'm like, oh, my sweet tooth has been fulfilled. I no longer need some sugar. Give me 6 months or a year. If I feel like drinking soda, I literally drink a capful. But that's only because I do not like sugar. And I have nothing against sugar. I cook with sugar. But I'm not a sweet person. Like, you know, at my wedding, I took the only bite of cake I ate was the bite that I was fed by my new husband. I never ate any more cake. But having diabetes at such a young age, what it did was, after I slipped into a diabetic coma, y'all didn't hear the best part. So in high school, kids used to hide my needle, I hide my insulin, and they, you know, everybody just knew that I was sick. They didn't know what, but they would take my bag and they would hide my shit until we got permission from the school to store it in the nurse's office. And the nurses would not help you, so they could store it in the fridge, and then when I need to go take my insulin, at the time that I need to take it, I would have to go to the nurse's station, to the nurse's office at school, and take it. Now, my sugar was always high, guys. I'm talking 400, 500. I remember I used to test it, and I used to go to the doctor, and I used to go to the nutritionist, and they'd just be like, what are you eating? And I'd be like, nothing. I am doing exactly what you told me to do. I mean, I breathe air and my sugar is high. But honestly, if I'm going to be honest, later on I realized that all those times that I would eat in the morning and I thought the food was horrible, awful, I used to stop at Dunkin' Donuts and get me a glazed donut. That was my favorite donut, a glazed donut. Okay, I still eat a glazed donut, but I eat it from Krispy Kreme. I never eat a whole donut. 2-3 bites, and I take small bites, and I'm done. But then I got really, really sick one day, and I slipped out of consciousness. And my mother took me. She called 911, and they told her to keep me awake. I remember this because I thought I was dying. Or I was going into diabetic shock because my sugar was so high. I spent 3 months in St. Vincent's Hospital in Manhattan, probably a little longer, but I was there for a very long time. They got my sugar under control, and the doctor, actually, shout out to Dr. Baldridge, would not release me until I got my shit together. I'm a teenager. I mean, tell me what to eat. But when I got out of being in the hospital for so long, and they would not give me solid foods. So they put a tube through my nose and they gave me tube feeding, so I only had liquid. And yo, when I told y'all I was hungry, I used to cry to the doctor that I was hungry all the time. And he asked me, what is it that I would like to eat? What would I like to see on a plate in front of me? And I started telling him, and he said, okay, we can make a deal. We made a deal, and I started eating half liquid food through the tube. So in the daytime, they would tape the tube to the side of my face, and then put the tube behind my ears, because I didn't want to take it in and out every day, because it was awful. And I would get a little bit of solid food. But when I got out of the hospital, my eating habits changed. It completely changed. I got better. I started reading about what I'm eating. I started reading about what a carb is, and what's a protein, and what's sodium, and all this stuff. And as I went through life, my eating habits got better. I started running more because I was always into track and field, so I started running. And then I got off the medication that I was taking, and 6 months later, a year later, I still had diabetes. but it got better, guys. I got it under control so much. And then the medication, I gained a lot of weight. So, but I got it under control so much that not only did I stop taking insulin, it went from 4 times a day to 3 times a day to 2 times a day to once a day to nothing, to them telling me that, hey, just check your sugar. You know, that was the only thing I had to do was check my sugar, to the point that I didn't have to check my sugar anymore, because I was like, no more diabetes perfection. Like, I had it down to a science. And as I got older and learned more, I just never went back. And then I started making the way that I eat a way of life. And people think that, oh, you know, you're as soon as I say I don't eat sweets, they automatically say, oh, it's because you want to stay skinny. No, it's because I almost died from going into a diabetic coma, and I don't want to die. And now this is my way of life. I exercise because I'm getting older, and I have a 5-year-old, and I want to be old and strong. And because I will never, ever, 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 ever in my life want to be shooting myself up with insulin 4 times a day. I don't want to do that ever again. It was a horrible experience. And I want my kids to see me healthy, happy, and alive. And the day above ground is a good day. So what I'm going to do is I am going to start doing meal prep for people and their families. I'm going to show you that you can eat what you like and still have a fulfilled life and still be happy and love food. Because let me tell y'all something, nobody don't love food like me, y'all. I could spend my whole paycheck at the grocery store just buying ingredients. That's me. Okay, I love to eat, but the way that I eat, okay, and I eat everything from pizza to pasta. Okay, I'm going to show you that you too can also have a diabetic free lifestyle. Okay, but it has to be a lifestyle, and it has to be 100% commitment. And if you're not going to do it and you're not going to commit to it, don't waste my time. When you're fully committed and ready, hit me up. Let's do it together. Let's get rid of the stigma from diabetes. Let's overcome it. Let's show our kids that we can be happy, we can be healthy, that eating healthily is not gross food, as my 5-year-old would say. Oof, that's disgusting. I don't like broccoli. But nobody likes broccoli because I don't like broccoli. But it's not all 1% milk and kale. Okay? So that's it for me today, guys. Drop your questions, comments below. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button, hit that like button. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.